four perspectives. And the first one, and we call this a psychological compass. So in the compass, what we have is north, south, east, west. So let's look at the one on top, that the north, there's the neuro. And you can think about that as the neurobiological. And it is what we eat that that contributes to our physiological states. And in fact, so I'll be sharing some of the tips, you might want to jot it down, So there are several natural foods, that can help us to promote better learning ability. And obviously, different kids, they can be different. And we can incorporate some of these food, into their diets, and I think it's worth a try. And even you as parents or a teacher can also consider
creating a neural pathway. It refers to a process where we are strengthening connections for the students. Now, when we are strengthening the connections for the students, don't you think it is especially very important for all those children who are having learning challenges, who are very hyperactive, or who probably have their own delayed developmental milestones?
Right. So thanks, Sada, for that. And I'll now continue to share 4 tips over here, how you can help to increase the learning abilities of SEN children. So one of which is we will have to try to develop a practical learning plan and schedule with the child's involvement with the plan. Encourage the child to participate in the development of the plan together. Right. And number 2 is we try to foster the child's self-management skills and autonomy. And how do we do that? We can help the child, to set small goals. Why kids procrastinate is because there's a psychological underpinning that is happening within the child. Look at the context, right? So, for example, just now Sadaf talked about, some SEN kids, they need more visuals, right? So maybe we have to really learn about the learning style of the student, right? Some students are visual learners, some are auditory learners. It really depends. And I think as a teacher, it's really nice if we're able to personalize, the teaching materials in a way that can adapt, to the different learning styles of the students.
Talking about students who are in the classroom who come with their own set of challenges, you can incorporate a lot of basic cognitive general strategies as a part of your classroom. See, of course, you need a formal assessment to know more and give specific guidance. But like, for example, you can, use a conclusion technique.
I think not just in certain parts of the world, but in all parts of the world, right? Even in Hong Kong, I've been seeing kids who have been bullied, whether it's right now or in the past. So I think first of all is we need to allow the student to able to express what happened to them, right? And again, we can utilize the strategy just I talked to you about, show our face, right? Show face, right? And allow the student to talk about the traumatic episodes, right? So for example, I have a case where the student, initially had been bullied by maybe about 2 students first, and what's worse is right now bullying in today's age is not just happening in physically but in the cyber world as well. So they might send Instagram messages to one another that in a way there's a lot of bullying messages, and all that. So so basically when I see the kid, I have to allow the kid to tell me exactly what has happened, and how do they feel about that, right? So me as a psychologist, my job is to help the kid to look at the event, and what's the severity of the event, or how intensified is the event, how long. Yeah, we can look at learning ability from the strategy I talk about, the compass, like north, south, east, west, and I think that will be like the best approach in the world.